What up?
I'm in a group text with all the people from my office, and we're all talking about like what time we're coming in for this shift. This is a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so like, half of us were coming in at 5, half of us were going to come in at 6:30.
Okay.
And there's this kid in our group chat, Ethan, who definitely needs some type of Ritalin. He can't have more than like one conversation at the same time, but he does all the time.
Okay, fair enough.
So we're like, Ethan, you're coming in at 6:30. Then there's more talk. He's fucking around in this chat. And then after like 10 or 15 more minutes, he's like, wait, am I coming in at 5 or 6:30?
Oh
and
my God.
supervisor
That would
goes,
lose my shit, bro.
no, he's like, no, wait, am I coming in at 5? And our supervisor goes, no, Ethan, you fucking Mongo. And to make it even better, as if that wasn't already hilarious enough, to make it better, Ethan texts us that played over the speaker in my car. My mom and my girlfriend heard it.
Oh, that's freaking hilarious.
His mom's like, who is that? Your supervisor? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, well, he sounds really immature. How old is he? And he's like, about 5 years older than you.
That's freaking hilarious, dude. That's so hilarious, dude. You know what, dude? It's like, it's so funny. I think like every job has those people that's just like not there. And you look at them, you're like, how did you get the work, this job?
You know the material, but every now and again, you're just like, man, you special. You're like a weird kind of way.
Yeah, it's like
thanks to the advent of the internet and the cloud and all this digital techno babble and whatnot. Now somebody can hear you be scolded by your supervisor miles and miles away, and your mom can be like, well, he was right.
100%. 100%. I totally agree with it. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us on Liberty Risk Podcast. I'm Billy.
And I'm Hugh. And
Hugh is in another fucking area. Hugh, I think Hugh's mission is to do a live show in a different location that no one's going to know about until the fucking show.
Did I not tell you that I was coming on AT? No?
Did what?
Did I not tell you that I was coming down here?
Dude, I know you told me you were on AT, but like in my brain, I'm like, you're in fucking Maine. There's military bases up there. So I'm like, oh, you're on fucking.
If it helps.
But then I forget you're a CB. So you're like, oh, we got to do this weird combat shit that we do.
If it helps, one time my dad called me and he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm just getting done with training. And he's like, what kind? I was like, we just got home for the range. He's like, why were you at the range? I was like, because I'm going to Iraq in like a week. And there was just like quiet on the other end. I was like, did I not tell you that I was about to go on my 3rd deployment? And he's like, no, you did not. Hell, even when I was in Africa, my sister texted me one time. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's 2 a.m. What do you want? And she's like, it's not 2, it's 8. Where are you? I was like, did I not tell any of you I was in Africa? She's like, no, how long have you been there? I was like, I don't know. Where was I the last time we talked? It had been like 5 months. I think I had been deployed almost half the time before any of them found out I was out there.
What the fuck, man?
And listen, it just doesn't register as something that is worthwhile talking about.
You got to let people know. Oh, Jesus.
I left a copy of my will and whatever the other important stuff was with Matt. Matt knows what to do.
Matt knows what
he's not even in the same state. He's still my emergency contact.
Josh, what's going on, my man?
Something it is worth talking about.
Hi, Jeannie.
I can say I was in Africa. Everybody knows we're in Africa.
You're not supposed to say
what people don't know about in Africa.
You're not supposed to say you were in Africa while you're in Africa and like give specific.
No, once you're already there, it's not OPSEC anymore if you've been there for a while.
Yeah, I guess not.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something is worth mentioning. So I don't really know like all the details and specifics. But if you're on Instagram, as most of you are, and I'm only on it because Billy will not let me get off of it for the sake of the show. There's another channel out there, Janae, Janae, I think, Perfectly Flawed. She does a lot of really great content.
She does amazing content.
Female empowerment, female veterans. And the newest thing that I saw that she was talking about, I tried to do a little bit of research before the show tonight. Allegedly, the Pac Fleet Commander, Admiral Paparo, is going to be signed into the new, I don't remember what the fucking position is. I think it might be CNO. Over a woman who like definitely was probably more qualified. She is currently serving as the vice CNO right now. And this other admiral was like, that's a presidential decision, like whatever.
Yeah,
like it feels like a cop out, right? It's like, sir, from this list of qualified people, would you go ahead and tell us who you would like to serve in this position? And like he's like, yeah, I got time to review all these files. No, these people were recommended to him. They said, hey, here are the top 5. These are the ones that we probably think, right? So it's a presidential decision. All right, let's go ahead and pass that off to the president. In 2008, President Biden was anti-gay, and now all of a sudden he's like, pride's the way to go, man. Do you really think that President Biden was like, yeah, I would totally love to have this woman in this position?
No, see, listen, I know we don't talk about politics and religion and all that shit.
Also was connected to the Red Hill oil spill in Hawaii.
Yeah, but I mean, the guy is like literally like.
I know we don't talk about politics. It's just like super kind of messed up, and it.
No, I 110% agree with you. And what sucks is the guy is not there. Like it's just sad. Like it's just at this point, it's one, it angers me as a voting fucking American. 2. It's sad to watch him because he's not the one making the decisions. It's the whole back end team that's doing it. He's just a puppet. The guy's a puppet, and you can see it. Like it's literally just give him fucking strings when he's in front of the.
There's too many videos of him mumbling.
It's mumbling. He's like walking in the wrong directions. He's fucking falling down, and it's not just falling like, oh, I tripped. The guy's like, it's his. No, he's giving. It's a body giving the fuck out. Like it gave out. Yeah. He just fell.
My favorite video so far is when he fell at the Air Force Academy, and there's this like graduating cadet who like leans over to help, and then realizes that's not a place that she needs to be, and then just walks away.
Did you see
the commander?
Yeah, no.
And she fell right in front of her. She's like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want to get involved in that."
Yeah, and the other thing was, what's the highest, the presidential citation for civilians, whatever that high award is? I can't remember it off the top of my fucking head.
I don't even know what awards
He had a bunch of females, and I'll find the video and post it to our Facebook page. But he literally put the award over one of the ladies' necks, and she looked at her friend and was like gave this like fuck this guy look. And I was like, and it was caught blatantly on camera. So it's not like we're fudging shit just to be like, oh, we hate the president, because that's not it. Like I respect, no matter who's in the seat, I respect the position of the commander in chief, because ultimately when you put the uniform on, whether you agree with the guy or not, you have to do what you are told by him, because he's my boss. And I have to respect the position. And the position of president is, I would never, ever, ever have a thought to go and do that. The fact that what it is it's to the point where I feel bad for the guy. The guy is, I almost feel like he doesn't realize he's getting used as a puppet. Like it's so bad. And then I look at his wife when she's walking next to him at these events. How could you consciously allow this to happen? It's humiliating.
Like a caretaker at this point. She looks like
but it makes the whole country look weak. And that's what the problem is that now we're looking as a country, we're looking like a fucking joke. This is America. So I don't know. I can go off on this tangent. We could have 7 seasons of this shit. I can't do it because my blood pressure's going up and I'm already fat, so it's already high anyway. And this doesn't fucking help it any.
So moving on to other shit then.
Anyway,
so I had to
round 2.
I had to drop out of one of my courses today. A couple different reasons. One, it was fucking boring. Oh my god, dude! I implicitly am studying online because of the flexibility that I have to watch lectures. I can do homework when I want to, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of them have like restrictions, like, hey, I need this quiz done. Like you'll have a quiz every Monday or every Sunday night, right? So, which is fine. It's not, but I get some of them that are like, yeah, you have to attend live lectures. That's part of your grade.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little kind of fucked up. I have shit to do, but whatever. But this class, man, it was a 3.5-hour lecture. 3.5 fucking hours. If I remember vaguely when I was actually going to class, and I was going to like 4 taking 4 classes at a time, none of them exceeded like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. But like that time would usually include like discussion or like work on your own and shit like that. 3.5 fucking hours talking about this course. And it was fucking dry and it was boring and I couldn't tolerate it. And I think part of me was also like, it's fucking summertime, man. I want to get home and lay in my pool. I want to go hiking. I want to do this shit. But what I definitely noticed was I could not retain any of the information. And I thought it was just going to be mostly research, but I was doing like, not really like high level calculations, but I had to calculate like energy output, and like consumption values and things like that, which are not overly difficult to do. Couldn't fucking remember any of it to save my life. So I'm down here on AT, as one does. And of course, reservists, we all work in a lot of different places. So I was talking to these 2 ladies who work at the VA. And apparently, and I'm sure this isn't news to a lot of other people, but it's kind of news to me, that depression and anxiety can affect your short-term memory.
Yes.
And part of that, as I have like come to find out, is like, can be as easy as like, I don't remember where I put my keys and then remembering later. But apparently it can affect your recall as well, which I don't know if you've ever been to college before, Billy. Being able to recall information is only massively important. So I've been taking this class for about 4 weeks now, and I don't remember what I fucking did week 1. Again, it might be the part where I don't find it interesting and I want to do other stuff, but
yeah.
I went back and reread the whole first chapter yesterday, and I don't remember any of that information.
Dude,
it's
a thing. No, I was gonna say it's a thing because I was literally I had a therapy appointment today, a virtual call, and which I'm still. And I told one of my buddies that even after all this time that I've been out, I still need it. I still need the therapy. I'm gonna need it for however long. If it's the rest of my life, then it's the rest of my life. I don't give a fuck. It's a good thing to do. And I feel like a weight's lifted off me. But point is, one of the conversations I had was with my depression and my anxiety, how I feel like my brain is in a fog and I feel stupid in the sense that I can't fucking remember anything. I can't retain information. I read shit and I'm like almost like I'm illiterate. Like, I don't know what I'm reading. And it's very frustrating because I'm like, I'm not a dumb human being. And fuck you for anyone that makes a stupid comment. I will fucking come find you. But it's part of the depression. It's so bad that it clouds. In a sense, for me, I feel like my mind is clouded, almost like you ever like when you walk outside and it's just horrible fog. That's what my mind feels like, and it sucks because when you're trying to navigate through life and do things, and you're dealing with this level of bullshit, because then you get angry. You get angry at yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now you're getting pissed off. Then you drink. Then we're drinking, and then that doesn't fix it, but it stops it for the day, but it's not good.
Feel better about it.
Yeah, but it's just, I understand, man. And it's frustrating to navigate through.
It was weird for me to kind of like first notice, because when I'm at work, my work is not overly difficult. If somebody said, describe your job poorly, and I said, I plug in extension cords, that's not describing my job poorly. That's the definition of my job. And so I have to, pick out which is the appropriate equipment for the job, right?
Yeah.
DV Oink says, I'm right there with you. If I don't care about a subject, I won't retain it. Even if I do like it, my memory is shit anymore. Yeah. So I noticed that I was at work setting up a bunch of these systems, and I am almost to the point where I'm at muscle memory for some of it. I know what kind of cables or how long they are and so on. But if I have to do any of the math, can't remember it. So the labor part, how it's supposed to get set up and where it's supposed to go and how the flow of it is supposed to work, I can retain, but I cannot retain any of the math. And it's not that difficult to do.
No, it's not. Like, that's the whole thing. If you didn't have that cloud, if you weren't dealing with the depression, if like for me, it's depression, anxiety, PTSD, which is just the trifecta. I have the fucking trifecta. Fuck you.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
The
fuck you trifecta. So it's like, I told my therapist today, I said, listen, and I told her, I said, listen, I know I've told you this before. I don't want to be on medications for the rest of my life. I don't want to wake up in the morning and go, I need to take pills. To be a normal human. Like that's fucking retarded. You know what I mean? Like it's not. It just sucks. Like it shouldn't be like that. But because of the fucking military, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has changed the chemical makeup in my fucking head because of all the bullshit we go through and all the crap you go through. Now, the fucked up part on the other end of the spectrum is I would do it all over again. But
100%.
like 100%, I'd do it all over again. But
I'm with you. I'm sitting here like, I got 5 years left. If China could just fuck around so they could find out,
yeah,
I'd be not
bro, do you
entirely upset
do you
about
understand how fast my fat ass would lose weight to put that uniform back on? Bro, I'd be like, hey, Hugh, I lost 200 pounds overnight. Like, I'd be ready, bro. I'd be battle ready.
Billy, how'd you do that? Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, fucking cocaine and Adderall, baby. Let's do this shit. Woo! But I'm telling you, that's the fucked up part of it is I would go right back to doing it. But on the other end of the spectrum, I think what helps is when you have, not to sound super cheesy, but like, you know, when buddies like me and you, we can fucking vent to each other. It helps kind of, no, you and me, I did that on purpose. Fuck you and fuck Mississippi. Anyone in Mississippi, your state sucks. I just feel that if you just talk to someone too, if you actually genuinely get help, because you know, like I told my buddy at work today, after my therapy sessions, I feel I just made a fat joke, so it's going to sound funny. I feel lighter in the sense that that burden is kind of off me for a little bit. And even if it's a relief for a couple of days, at least it's a couple of days where I feel almost functioning like I'm normal. And the you know, and a testament to this is after the appointment, I went directly back to work because I work remotely. Mm-hmm. And I wound up having the second half of my day was one of the best days I've had since I've been at my company. So as hard as it might be for some people and as hard as it might be to get there, but even just to suck your pride up and just go speak to someone, whether it's a friend who's going to genuinely listen, you know, a family member, which, you know what, a lot of military members, like their families are fucked. Like they don't talk to them anymore. I've found that out too, which is very, very interesting.
More of my military friends have grabbed on to the blood is thicker than water, or a blood doesn't make you family, it just makes you related mentality. And
yes, I've always said that.
Whether it's because of the moving around, or it's just a lack of understanding, or they just don't appreciate what they do because they don't want them to do it.
Yeah.
So then they're like, oh yeah, I'm not close to my family anymore, or you know, we haven't been close in so long. Okay, well, there's a whole group of other jackasses who put on the same clothes that you did.
Yeah.
This week, you know, they probably get it. They probably feel the same way.
Yeah, and you just have to reach out to them. You know what? There's so many resources for it, Hugh, and we're going to talk about all this shit. You know, episode after episode, we'll always touch on this stuff. But there's so many resources out there for you to be able to take that next step. It's just you have to want it. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. If you're in a sense enjoying being in this state of depression and PTSD and all this shit, because I fucking don't. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate what it's done to my health, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I hate what it's done to my health in those three aspects. I hate that I don't do things that I used to love doing. You know what I mean? There's a lot that I just feel if you just take this step to talk to someone, it's not an overnight fix. You have to put in work. It's a lifestyle change. You have to want this shit. And you'll fall. Yeah. It's okay to fall.
Have I talked to you about code switching yet? Have I talked on the show about code switching? Okay, awesome. That means I went to therapy and now I'm doing the show. So I was talking to. I gotta get a calendar. I was talking to my therapist about some stuff that I've talked about with other people, or I've like overheard in conversations, right? So like when you go on deployment, and I'm not saying this doesn't happen to active duty, right? Because active duty, at least my observation, and I probably a pretty decent one at that, is that like for a lot of the time, you know, your OPTEMPO is very high. When you're deployed, obviously it's higher and it stays high the whole time. And then you come back, they give you some time off, but then you come back to work and you kind of keep doing your thing So like you have it feels like you have like a higher op tempo than normal in general. So you learn to operate in that sphere, right? As a reservist, when I go on deployment, my op tempo skyrockets and then planes for 6 straight months and then plummets when we come home.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, here's this 5-day thing in Germany. Go drink beer and chill. Go get your wife. And then we go home and then we go to Virginia if you're in the Navy, which you hate because it's all a bunch of dumb shit. And you're like, light at the end of the tunnel. I'm almost home. I don't want to listen to this Department of Labor thing where they talk about how to get better jobs and education. I don't want to talk to the yellow ribbon people about how to pay for college better. I didn't know that I could sign up for fucking veteran group life insurance, but I only have a year to do it. Didn't know that. Now I got to go back on fucking deployment so I get fucking life insurance. Ironically, now that I say it out loud,
which you're kind of okay with.
Yeah, but still, I shouldn't have to do that. Anyway, I was talking to my therapist about this stuff, and so that type of change in your op tempo so drastically, or even routinely, because I mean, I've deployed 5 times since 2010, so for me, it's almost a pattern at this point. Yep. But it changes your brain waves and your brain chemistry, and it's more difficult for you to come back and transition back to a way in which you were before, right? So that led me into
ready normalcy,
right? Yeah, normalcy. Yeah, well,
normalcy.
Like, oh, man, my white picket fence is so nice. Wife,
what are you doing this voice for? Where's this coming from?
Now I'm making fun of Americana. Go soak your feet in front of the oven while you cook me a steak. Nice. Fuck you, commies.
Fuck you, commies.
So we got into this conversation about how the transition is not easy for people because of this high up tempo, and it led me into this conversation. I was complaining about work and how this stuff was like basic stuff was making me angry. Like, this is the way you do something, and if you don't do it this way, you fix it, right? Except we're not doing the last part at work. We're not fixing it. We're just like, I don't know what we're doing. We're ignoring it. And so what she told me was, I am not married me to get the $500,000 I was forced to accept. Yeah, you're forced. Yeah, you have to. It's just like my fucking taxes.
Clarification: SGLI was forced.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeannie.
So basically, what she was saying is, I need to learn how to code switch. The manner in which I would do something in the military is not the way in which I can expect to do it somewhere else. You might even have that between unit to unit, but my problem is that I work for the government and I expect that I can solve problem A with problem B or with solution B, and that's not the case. No. And I know that I have trouble switching even still because I go to drill once a month and I go on an AT at least once a year.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly in both worlds. However, if you don't transition properly out of the military, because, after X amount of time, right, when you're done, you want to be done. You don't want to keep going to classes. You don't want to keep learning shit. You're like, it's time to get the fuck out. But what you're not allowing yourself to do is remember that or relearn the manner in which you have been doing things for a long time is not the manner in which you're going to do things in the future. And so that high op tempo that changes who you are as a person, combined with that inability to switch from one seat to the other, is actually affecting a lot of veterans and is making the transition harder, which is affecting divorce rates. It's affecting suicide rates. It's affecting drug addiction rates. It's affecting alcohol and other substance abuse rates. Because I've listened to a lot of the trainings at least 5 times now. Yeah. I don't really know at what point that was mentioned. Probably was not as clearly, but I know after my 5th one, I was like, I'm done. I'm fucking ready to go home. Like, I have a government job. I have retirement accounts. I have everything. I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
Maybe it was mentioned. I don't know.
No, Hugh, it's funny you say that. We all know those people who, what we would call deployment hounds, war hounds, whatever you want to call them, who are just like, they thrive on just going on deployment, whether they're full active duty or reservists picking up AT time, whatever it is. They're like, oh yeah, I got 7 under my belt. That's not good, bro. Like, that's not something you should be bragging about. Like, that's fucking crazy. One, you're intentionally now putting your life on the line because for something subconsciously you probably want to get killed because it'll shut the switch off. And 2, you shouldn't thrive on war.
Oh, that was the other thing. Thank you. That
Like,
reminded
you know
me.
what I mean? Like, you shouldn't
The
thrive
thriving
on it.
part. The thriving part, right?
Yeah.
So like, because it's changing who you are, right? So like you said earlier, if you want to live in this depression and this anxiety, like there's something wrong with you. You're right. There is something wrong with you. You have successfully transitioned into only knowing how to operate at this high op tempo, even though it's only a temporary situation.
Yeah.
So that they come home and they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to be angry and pissed off and sad. That's the only thing they know how to do.
It's too slow because normalcy, again, air quoting, normalcy is too slow.
Right.
And what is it? I heard a stat. This was probably back in I was stationed. It was in Mayport, so it was early on in my career. One of the DOD guys, federal DOD police guys at the smoke pit, just mentioned this. He goes, yeah, most retirees that go full careers, they pass away within 10 to 15 years after they get out because their body can't take the slowness.
No shit.
And they literally like their body can't adapt to it.
They just decay.
And they either have like a heart attack or an aneurysm or something that like the fucking knife just drops. I think it was like 40%, something. It was a high number, something grossly like high. Higher. But if you think about it, if you start thinking
you said retirees,
military retirees.
So that's weird because I remember a couple of years ago, I heard a statistic that said it's something only like 3% of people who go into the military ever reach retirement age. So I would be interested in finding out.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is actually truly making sense because if you go in at 18, you get out at 38, and then 10 years later, you're 48 to 55, we'll say.
Yeah.
That's not retirement age. You're still considered a viable working citizen.
So
right?
You're right.
Right.
Yeah. I've had this conversation with a few people. They're like, I retired out of the military. Why do I have to go back to work? You don't have to go back to work, but good luck. DV says 20 years and active and only deployed once by choice. Preferred my wife and cold beer over deployment money or whatever reason people want to go. And some people are able to get away with that. I would say get away like it's a bad thing. Some people are in a position where that's their career.
You know, we all joined the military for one reason or another. You know, it's so funny. It was so weird having these conversations because I was explaining to a guy today at work that we're the only country that has a 100% full volunteer force, meaning there are other countries where you have to volunteer, but they still have like the jail system, like either go to jail or serve in the military. You know what I mean? We're the only country you have to sign up and that's it. That's it. That's the only way you can serve. You have to walk the fuck into a recruiting station and pen, put pen to paper, and that's it.
Right.
Other countries have it, but there's also judicial system loopholes where they can like force you in. It's either go fucking do 2 years and serve, or you're going to prison for 15. Pick.
Yep. Hey, actually, DV, answer me this question, man. So, 20 years, only one deployment. I don't know if you were Army or Navy, but did you do like a high op tempo, low op tempo type of rotation? And are you noticing similar things compared to like your buddies that did like multiple tours with high op tempos? Eventually you'll be able to go back and rewind this and see if you hear everything that I asked. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you've noticed similar things to your buddies that did a ton of deployments over your time in.
Now, how long are you on AT for this time? Is this your 2 weeks?
Just 2 weeks.
Just your 2 week training stint. So you're down in Mississippi.
Yeah, they're trying to fucking scam me into going into the field for 2 weeks. I'm like, bro, I'm leaving this unit in like 15 days. I'm not spending
like
the last
field next?
Yeah, they want me to go to a squad leader school, and I was like, I'm sorry, you're telling me with all the qualifications and experience, the third lowest leadership level training that we have, just so you can hit some wickets. I'm all right, man. I'm good. That sounds like a no from me, dog.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, man. But yeah, so there was that. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about tonight? I thought I wrote it down.
No, you didn't. See, this is where your brain shuts down and you forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So, bro, real quick.
I remember thinking it.
The fucking, I'm a huge hockey fan. I got to bring up sports real quick. I'm a huge hockey fan. Diehard hockey fan. Mm-hmm. Did you see the last game of the Stanley Cup Finals? Where Vegas?
Oh, no.
Why? bro.
Because Seattle didn't make it, so I didn't feel it worth watching.
The fucking Kraken, like this. I swear, it's the one team in sports that has a cartoon character. Anyway, except the Mighty Ducks. Anyway,
and an alcohol.
Oh fuck, you're right. I hate that.
Yeah. There's no New York Rangers pale ale. I mean, there might be.
They're probably. You know what? Hold on. You know what? We're gonna figure this shit out now.
Tell me about this.
But anyway, the game to end the series, to win the cup, and you beat the other team 9-3 was fucking hilarious. Oh, it was absolutely hilarious. Let's see. New York Rangers alcohol.
It's probably just a bunch of photos of New York Rangers fans falling over the street and vomiting on cars.
What's this? Yes. New Amsterdam Vodka's New York Rangers limited edition vodka.
There you go. So limited edition.
Limited edition.
It's no massively popular.
Makes it extra tingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I don't remember.
You paid an exorbitant amount for nothing.
Yeah. So last show I talked about how I lied to my therapist and did not tell her.
Stupid.
No. Everybody does it. It's cool. It's like smoking.
Everyone does it. It's cool. No, that's not a thing, bro.
You remember last episode? Yeah, I didn't remember that.
It's not cool. It's not cool to do that.
But everybody does it. I said no. I don't wake up.
You just said that like a teenager. But everyone does
it. On my intake form, I said, "No, I don't have suicidal ideations. I don't wake up and wish I could just be dead." Right? Well, I went and so we had our show, and then the next week, which was last week, went to my therapist and I told her.
Yeah.
She's like, "Do you have anything else for me?" I was like, "Yeah. Remember that time I told you this thing? Well, I fucking lied, and I'm telling you this because." Jeannie's right. Everybody does it. Been working in mental health 20 years. They all do it. We all lie. I got another side story. I was talking to one of my guys today about my therapy. And he's like, I've been lying to my mental health guy for 4 years. It wasn't until like 2 months ago I told him all the stuff going on in my head. Now I have appointments twice as often as I did before. But we're getting somewhere. And that's all that matters, man. You just need to be getting somewhere. So I told her, I was like, yeah, I lied to you because I'm a terrible person. But I'm telling you because I host this show. And I don't want to be a two-faced some bitch or flip-flopping some bitch and tell people one thing and then lie to my therapist. So I told her, yeah, some days I just wake up and I'm like, this sucks, man. I wish I could just have died in my sleep. She's like, okay, we can talk about that. I was like, awesome. She's like, well, how do you think your family would feel? I was like, well, I don't really care about them. And also, this is not like a dig on you. It's just a dig on therapy in general. Why do therapists use people's families as like a cop out? Like, hey, don't do that thing because of your family. First of all, if I'm dead, I'm not going to be around to care about how they feel about it.
No, not at all. I hate that.
And honestly,
I fucking hate when they do that.
And honestly, if I wasn't willing to stay around for them, they probably don't hold a lot of value. So maybe let's not talk about them. Let's talk about me. Let's talk about why sometimes I roll over and I'm like, well, it wasn't yesterday. Try again tonight. Same bat time, same bat channel. But yeah, dude, she was super cool about it. Probably like a little bit worrisome, but yeah, you shouldn't lie to your therapist, apparently. Jeannie says based on the relationship and the therapist should be aware of that. She probably is. She's much smarter than I am, and which is why I make such wild accusations that are based purely on conjecture and no research, Jeannie. It's a show for the enlisted. Tiffany says, my husband has been lying to, I assume this is battalion health because she's married to the Army for years. They'd commit him if he told them what was in his head. Yeah, but as soon as he retires, it's fucking game on.
Oh, yeah.
Game motherfucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
That's a shame, though. I remember reading a story, I'm sure everybody's read it, about the sergeant major that goes to therapy and just sits there and doesn't say anything. And finally, one day the therapist is like, why do you come here and never say anything? And he's like, because I need my people to know that it's okay to come here. I'm actually okay, or whatever. I believe, Tiffany, I believe that. I'm sure that like his command would like flip out, even though one, it's none of their fucking business. And just because you go to therapy and have these thoughts doesn't mean there's something necessarily
Well, what's what happened to me on
debilitating
active duty. This is where one of the stigmas comes from. When I fucking admitted myself into a mental health facility, an inpatient facility, to fucking get help because I was going to literally start the front of my pistol sitting in my office one day.
That's a little different.
I come back and got blackballed.
Oh yeah.
And had to work for an bullshit. E5 as like some kind of fucking punishment because
I remember you saying that.
It was stupid.
You went and got help.
And this is the only time I'll do shit like this. Chief Christopher Gregg, you can go fuck yourself, and I hope your life is miserable.
He's probably retired. That's okay.
Probably is.
Tiffany says he's the command team CSM, but goes for the exact reason to let us. Yeah, see, it's okay. It's all right to go get help. It's all right to go show people.
No 9mm naps allowed, homie. I'm not going to unalive myself, I promise.
That exact reason is why I started telling people, like, I'm flippant with my medical information at work, man.
Yeah.
And at drill. Like, I tell them that I go to therapy. I tell them that I'm starting a fucking ADHD study in August or some shit. And the only thing I tell them is like, hey, listen, in uniform, the only thing that I care about is I need to be able to carry a weapon, which means no mind-altering medications, which is what I tell the VA. Like I can't take Ambien because you can't carry a weapon on Ambien. But yeah, man, it was super like massive weight off my chest telling my therapist, like, yeah, sometimes like a lot of the stuff I'm sure that there's like, remember like you used to do like the Scantron and there's like the little punch out card. So like that was the right answers. You like overlay. I'm sure they do that to the intake form. And it's like, all right, if they answered yes on this side, they aligned son of a bitch. If they said no on this time, they're 2-time aligned son of a bitch, you know? And I'm sure that she was well aware that I was like withholding some information. So I'm hoping it goes, I don't want to say it goes better because it's already going well. But man, just super relieving to be able to tell my therapist, like, hey, this thing that you guys said was wrong with me, like I lied and said it's not wrong with me. And she was like, all right, cool. We'll work on that on top of your anger and the other stuff you got going on. And I was like, awesome.
That's good though.
You just listed all my stuff, but that's cool.
No, I think it's important for everyone to get to a place, and you know, some people just don't, where they're just kind of like, look, I need help. You know what I mean? I'll always say that, like, and you know, for those that have watched the show for a while, I've been out, you know, I've been retired from the Navy since 2015. 49 years ago. It was craziness. But, you know, I've been out since 2015 and, you know, cut me 5 years short of my full 20. And I got medically retired because of my mental health issues, which is fine. It's a blessing. It was a blessing, to be honest. And I'm still actively seeking out therapy where like it's not a crutch. I still need help in the sense that I still need to speak with someone, speak with a professional. And 7 out of 10 of my appointments, I'm okay with saying I'm bawling my eyes out because the shit's coming out. You know what I mean? Like you have all this fucking emotion that's just fucking, you know, pushed down.
You've been keeping down forever, and now they're
and
all
then it just
up. They all want.
Then it just comes out, and and you're just like, holy fuck. And then what's funny is I always I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to get like this, and she's like, that's why you're fucking here. Stop. Like you're it's okay to be like this. That's what it's for. Like, so just don't be embarrassed about it. Suck up the pride. It's okay for a grown ass man, and I'm targeting men right now because it's usually the ones that don't go to therapy. It's usually the men that the stigma's behind. What?
I read that like,
yeah, you remembered it. That's good.
Fuck you, bro. That's all right. 20 minutes. I'll forget you said that.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm not worried about it. Anyway, but I think it's important for the men out there that have served to suck up your pride. You're not considered weak by any means by asking for fucking help. Like let's take it for example. You're in the service, right? There's something you can't fucking do. You guys are doing whatever fucking team training, whatever the fuck it is, and there's something you can't accomplish. What is your buddy gonna do? He's gonna come fucking help you, right? If you're in a fucking firefight, right, and you're getting fucking pinned down, what are your buddies gonna do? You're gonna fucking call them for help, right? So the same concept. It's okay to walk into the fucking therapist or call your buddies for fucking help. It's okay to do that shit. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not be okay.
I started looking at it as like a couple years ago to make me, I don't want to say, make me feel better about going, because I had my hesitations about it. Like, I'm not mechanically inclined in any way, shape, or form, and I have absolutely no problem paying a mechanic to fix my fucking car. I don't know why I would feel bad about going to therapy. A buddy of mine, many years ago, when he was getting his screening for deployment, they were like, "What do you mean you go to therapy? The fuck is wrong with you?" He's like, "First of all, there's nothing wrong with me. I go to therapy to make sure that I'm functioning the way that I'm supposed to." And they were like, "Oh, so you just go to make sure you're okay?" And he's like, "Yeah. What do you do when you don't know if you're okay?" And they were like, he was just like, "I don't even understand the question." He was like, maybe you don't need to be in this command, Doc. Maybe there's another place for you somewhere else that will love you and hug you and care about you. Go there.
Hey.
Oh man.
No, but it's true. I think as a society, that's the one thing where for men, it's the biggest, one of the biggest downfalls is you just need to have the suck it up buttercup mentality and just power through and just get the shit done no matter what it is, whether you're in the military or not. You need to just power through your life, and any fucking challenges that come your way, you should be able to fucking fix them, and you need to move forward, and that's it. And that's not good. It's one of the main reasons why the veteran suicide rate is so fucking grossly high compared to the civilian population, is because it gets drilled into our heads even more. And that one, your career could be fucked. The one thing I hated in the military, I never told my guys, I used to get fucking chewed out for this shit. That guy's up for re-enlistment. Why aren't you fucking talking him up and telling him how great the service is? I was like, because it's not. Like, there's opportunities out there that he could achieve to live a fucking great life. And if he has the will to do it, he should go to college and get a master's degree in fucking computer engineering and make over $100,000 a year and live a great fucking life. I'm not going to stop him from doing that.
And not have
if he wants to be in the goddamn service, guess what?
He doesn't have to stay quarterdeck watch. He doesn't have to shave every day. He doesn't have to go in formation while you take a fucking Bic pen out and see if his name tag is 1/8 of an inch higher than his pocket.
Yeah. So it's what it is you're just going to fucking keep going, and you'll be fine. If you don't stay in the military, there's not shit out there for you at the end, blah, 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 blah. And I think it's the dumbest fucking thing in the world to do that. So when I made E6, for the Navy, you get thrown into these leadership positions, right? So for me, I was a watch commander. So I had all these fucking people to work for me all of a sudden. I'm like, fuck. And now I really saw, like, you're navigating, like, you're dealing with everyone else's problems. You know what I mean? Like, personal and professional. But my biggest thing was I would get guys in the patrol car. I would download them. All right, let's go to the armor. Let's get your fucking, go turn your weapon in. Oh, okay, MA1. Get in the patrol car. Let's go. And I would drive them up to the fucking hill. And then my chiefs would be like, yo, where's so-and-so? I'm like, he's speaking to a fucking therapist right now. I'm going to go stand his post.
Yeah.
Why the fuck? Why'd you just drive him up there? You want me to go drive him to the post, and then you can go do a post check and then fucking scrape his brains off the fucking window? I was trying to, like, be proactive and fucking get ahead of the game. He's having problems to that level. So he's up there. We'll be okay. The Navy will function without him standing fucking guard watch, looking out at the river, standing on a fucking 240 that has no ammo in it, waiting for a fake enemy to fucking come up the Thames River. We'll be good. Like, just fuck off.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. I don't like it. I never liked it. And I really feel it's one of the fucking reasons I never made chief, was because I opened my mouth too much on that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I just, fuck you. I'm not doing it. Like, it's just, I don't know. Mental health for men is just, in the military, is a huge subject for me. DB said, hell no, you're not weak for seeking help. It takes stronger human to ask for help than to push it down deep. Fuck that analogy. Just ask Sergeant War Dog, president of the psych ward gang. Yeah, seriously. And then Jeannie, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay if you're lost. We're all a little lost, and it's all right. It's okay. So
I don't know whose songbird that must be a reference.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I think that was one of those America's Got Talent. She had cancer and passed away, I think. Am I right on that, Jeannie? I think I hit that fucking nail on the head on that one. But
I'd be a little bit impressed if you did.
I think I did. I think it is the girl who passed away from cancer, who was a singer on America. It was either was America's Got Talent, right? Yeah. get it.
And Oink knew too. Oink
yeah,
knew too.
yeah. See, I know shit. I remembered something. Yay! Fucking stupid. I'm an idiot.
You know, I had I had people even when I was on deployment that I remember now that you're talking about it, I got pushback for. When I was in Africa one time, one of the guys texted me. He's like, hey, you know, can I get a day off? And if I looked at my phone, I was like, fuck no. All right, let's go find out what's wrong. And I went over to his room and I was like, hey man, like what's going on? And he had some family stuff. I think his grandmother was sick and she like wasn't doing very well.
Yeah.
And he knew he wasn't going to be allowed to go home, you know, so he's coming to terms with that. And I was like, all right, well, like, you know, do you want to talk about it? Do you want me to take you to talk to somebody? Like, do you want me to, I can't bring anybody here, but so we sat for a little bit and talked about it. And I went and saw Chief and I was like, hey, listen, I'm giving so-and-so the day off. And I told him, you know, not all the details, but enough. And he's like, well, I don't really think that's appropriate. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't ask. I already did it because I feel like that was the best call. So if you want to talk to other people about it, go ahead, get back to me. So like 4 hours goes by after he spent all day on the phone with the other chiefs because he was incapable of making his own decisions. He's like, you know, I think that maybe it's you know, maybe you did the right thing. You know, maybe I got a little. I'm like, all right, cool, thank you. And even when I was in Africa, like Africa was an extremely easy deployment, comparably speaking. And I had one of my people was just having like a shit day. A bunch of her customers were being absolute dicks. I was like, hey, just go home. She's like, what? I was like, just go home. I don't care. I was like, I'll answer your phone. I was like, I'll answer your phone and do that. I was like, forward your emails to me. I'll take care of it for the day. Like, just go home and breathe. You know, like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but you're no good to me right now. You're no good to yourself. Go home and call your family. Go have some dinner. Go to the pool.
It's no OPSEC violations.
It's not OPSEC violations. I'm not. Everybody knows that we were in these places, okay?
Yeah, like everyone knows.
And it was years ago. I'm pretty sure my NDA is expired. Yeah, sometimes it can be that easy. Be like, hey, man, things aren't going that well. Cool. Do you want to talk? No. Do you want to talk to somebody else that you don't work with? Let's go do that instead.
Yeah. don't whatever us, Jeannie. We love you. Don't do that. That's mean. Don't be mean. It's mean. It hurts my heart. Remember that. Live on social media. It hurt my heart. The whole fucking world knows it now. She's gonna fucking kick my ass next time she sees me. But no, dude, I think the biggest thing is she's such an ass. What's a fucking just crack it up. But I think this is a subject that we need to dive deeper into, you know, in other episodes. I think it's something that's very, very crucial to our listeners, to our viewers. You know, I think it's
Billy, you and I are both actively reaching out to. So for those of you who have been with the show for a while, of course, you know, we try to bring on, you know, veteran service organizations and nonprofits out veterans. But now what we're doing is we're trying to reach SMEs, subject matter experts, for those of you who are civilians who are watching for your spouse.
Yep.
We're trying to get subject matter experts on board to come in and talk about, and we're doctors, people who are doing research, people who whose organizations are based in research or observation. There's a gentleman I reached out to a couple of days ago, waiting to hear back from. His research has shown that veteran suicides are 20% more likely in rural areas, which I thought was weird.
It's crazy to hear that.
Yeah, you would think like
it just surprises me.
You have so what I believe is the basis of the research is that it's there's the number one reason in his list was easier access to the ability, right? Easier access to hang yourself or shoot yourself or get pills or what have you. But like objectively, like when you talk about getting out, people are like, oh, I'm going to have a family and I want to have a job and do whatever. You would think a rural area would be right up their alley. You'd have
but it's
your restaurants, your nightlife, or whatever. But like we just talked about tonight, if you're not prepping to switch from one world to the other, this is what you're gonna end up with. So I'm reaching out to somebody who's using VR to alleviate stress and stress-induced migraines. I just had a whole conversation with one of the reps yesterday afternoon. It's fucking wild, man. So we are reaching out to more and different people. We're going to start including information in the post ahead of time, so you guys know who it's going to be. So if it's just going to be really nice shooting the shit, and you guys are like, fuck you people, I'm here for the resources, you can go on about your days. Justin, looking your way. But then, if you are generally interested, maybe you learn something. So
yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's going to be, I think what we're going to do is we're going to dive down and, we're going to go down a different road than what we were originally. And what we did originally, there's some resources and individuals that we've brought onto the show that we can still reach back out to. They'll be able to help us with these topics that we want to hit. So we've always been huge advocates of veteran suicide prevention. I think, just because we know people who unfortunately aren't here with us anymore. I go back to myself. I am a suicide survivor. Unfortunately, I did actively try to take my own life, which is, it is what it is. I did it, and I'm proud to fucking talk about it in the sense that I didn't succeed, and I'm able to now relate to, on a certain level, to individuals that are on the cusp and hopefully help bring them back. It's something that I'm very passionate about. And
you can use that experience to help other people and show
absolutely
them, hey, there's still other options available.
110%. So it's something we're gonna focus on. We're gonna dive down that road, and then we're gonna have those episodes where we're just like, fuck this, we're gonna be goof nuts like we usually are, and just fucking have a drink, share some fucking crazy stories, and hopefully maybe bring a guest or two on to just share their crazy fucking stories also. But if there's anyone or any resources that you guys know of, please shoot us an email at libertyriskpodcast@gmail.com. If you know someone that you think would be a good fit to come on to talk about stuff like this, or is in those subjects that Hugh just mentioned, please let us know. Put it in the comments. Check with them first before you drop their personal information, please. Like, don't just be like, oh, go call this person, they'll be great. Okay, just shoot us an email, put it in the comments. Don't divulge all their personal info to put it all over the internet. But we'll do what we can to have them on the show and try to be advocates for you guys to get help that you need, in the best of our ability, or at least guide you down that road to get that help. So
well said.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hugh, this has been another awesome episode. So we're going to do this, every week? We're doing this every week, every other week, Wednesdays,
we're going to try to do
Thursdays,
every other
Fridays,
week.
Every other week on
try to
Wednesdays.
do every other week, provided you don't have meetings and my boss doesn't make me stay late for work.
Or they don't cut the fucking internet cable in the fucking ground because they don't know how to lay fucking wire, and they splice
I'm actually glad I'm glad we did this today, because I think there's supposed to be a power outage tomorrow.
Jesus. Anyway, so we're going to be here every other week, guys.
Two of them.
I will do my best to post before 11 o'clock to give you guys notifications of the live. I don't like to post a couple days before. It kind of gets lost in the sauce. I try to do it day of.
If we have to move it, then I feel like a liar.
Yeah. And then
but I never said I wasn't a hypocrite.
But yeah, please share the hell out of this for us from whatever platform I'm not going to say I'm on here, but you know what platform you're watching it from. Please share it with everybody that you know. Go in there and actually follow the page, not just like it. Actually go in there and follow. Get on our YouTube if you're not on there, and actually subscribe and turn the notifications on, because we're doing both on there. I said the fucking thing, didn't I? Idiot. See, I forgot. Couldn't remember. Happens to the best of us.
I had forgotten. It's been 20 minutes. I had forgotten about it, and there it is.
But again. All right, well, Hugh's got to take a piss. He's fucking sending me messages saying he's going to piss his pants. So we should stay on here about another 20 minutes, and then no. All right, everyone, listen so much. Thank you so much for watching us tonight. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good night.
Later, Billy.